Hi, this is Dr. Pepper, first video ever, and I wanted to do this video to respond to PopPrepper? Yeah, PopPrepper. He asked a question of us about what we feel has helped us or made us better people from prepping, and it's a tough one. I have to say that prepping is definitely a lifestyle. I never realized that it would become such a huge endeavor. My wife and I suffered a little bit after the 2008 crash, but fortunately we moved our money around, and from that moment on it was kind of a realization that something wasn't right and we needed to do something different. So we began prepping, and we probably didn't do it in the right way, in the right order. First thing we did, because we were still in that, matrix thing, that we bought silver and gold, which is good, but when you do this, when you start out, you should start out with food and, basic essentials, things that you need to survive. And of course silver and gold aren't, like the saying, you can't eat silver or gold, but anyway. So years later have passed, and we have come to our senses and completely revamped the way that we think as far as money and things like that. So one of the motivators for prepping was, of course, our children. We have 6 children. They're all adults. They all live out of the house, finally. But as a father and a man, I thought, what, if something bad happens, where are those kids going to go? They're going to go where they always go. They're going to come to Dad. And if Dad isn't prepared, they're basically hosed. I mean, they're young and they're just starting out in life, and they're not thinking about prepping and what's going on in the world. They're just trying to get their life going. And even though I've had talks with all 6 of them, my oldest, who has 2 children himself, so yeah, I'm a grandfather, he is probably the most, obviously he's the most understanding of what he needs to do as a father. And so he's actually buying food and prepping. He's bought some silver, and he's probably, he is the only one that's actually contributing to the prepping scene in our family. And that's fine. I understand. My other children, that while they have jobs or they're going to school, they really don't have the money to do that kind of thing. It's not like they're out bar hopping every weekend and stuff like that. So they're struggling, and just like we did when we were children. And so I don't put that burden on them. I've accepted that responsibility as a father, again, as we should, and that's fine with me and my wife. So basically, just to answer your question, Pop, I think it's helped me more spiritually, where we tend to prepare for our necessities of food and protection and safety and stuff like that, but we forget to prepare spiritually. And if the crap hits the fan like we all expect it to, if we're not spiritually ready for that, or we're not mentally ready for that, it doesn't matter what you have. You could have every prep and be prepared for every situation, but if you're not prepared mentally or spiritually, you'll fail. And it's just the way I feel. It's just my opinion. But So it's helped me become more aware of what's really necessary, I guess is what I'm saying. You know, my whole life growing up with my kids and stuff, you know, we always had to have stuff, you know, right? I always had to have stuff. I had the boats and the RVs and the you know, sand rails, and we did all that fun stuff. And you know, I didn't really think about anything. You know, I'm an 80s child. You know, I grew up in the 80s, and the 80s were wonderful, and the 90s were wonderful. So, you know, I've always grown up with good times, right? And everyone out there that's my age in their mid to late 40s know that we didn't have it bad, and we've always had it really good, and kind of made us spoil our children more than we should have, and unfortunately they're paying the price for it now. So I'm not even sure where I'm going with this, but I just wanted to get a video out there and get in, you know, answer your question. I hope I have. It's my first video. I'm probably rambling like an idiot. But one thing I wanted to say to the new preppers, if you're even listening to me, why you would, I have no clue. It's a funny thing being a prepper, because you talk to people about it and they think you're nuts. Like, what are you, some kind of survivalist? Okay, we've all heard that, right? And then you start questioning yourself, like, okay, am I really a nut? Because, you know, you never believe this kind of shit. You always thought that people like that were crazy. What the heck are you guys doing? You know, things are perfect, right? But it's an interesting dilemma, because here you are, you're preparing for what? What are you preparing for? You're preparing for doom. You're preparing for shit to hit the fan. So in order for you to be, you know, proven right, or whatever it is you want to be, you know, your ego can sustain, shit has to hit the fan before they go, oh, that guy was right, you know. Anyway, so it's not a pretty thing. It's very difficult to sometimes sustain doing it and to keep your mind straight, and I think that's the most important thing. Is just keep yourself spiritually grounded, and keep yourself mentally stimulated somehow. You know, you can't just always prep and think doom and gloom, you know. So try to keep having a good time as much as you can, but you know, lifestyle changes. That's the way it goes. So anyway, that's all I have, and hope you enjoyed it, and see you later.